Warning: some of the twisted and disturbing stories you're about to listen to may give you goosebumps, chills, and nightmares. That is if you can sleep tonight. We upload new content weekly. Please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Welcome to the channel. You're now watching Twisted TV. This is Scary Stories number 4.
Always watching. I have never thought I went through so much in my childhood. I thought everything that happened was normal. That every family was like this. That it was perfect. It was when I left home at age 17 and moved with another family that I realized that it was all fudged up. I reflected upon my life because the saying is true. In order to move forward, you must confront the past. Unfortunately, it unlocked monstrous memories that I hid away for years. This is one of my stories. It starts when I was a 9-year-old girl. I live in Australia. In an urban area. I used to live in a 4-room house. Not very big, but big enough for 6 people, and with a shitty small backyard. No grass in sight, only weeds and gravel. The household had myself, my mom, my 2 older brothers, my baby brother, and him. My mother's fat-ass boyfriend. Also my beautiful old black cat named Puss in Boots. Rest in peace, my little protector. It all started when my 2 older brothers left home. When my brothers left, he knew nobody else would protect me, not even my own mother. After school, I did my chores. When I didn't perform my chores to perfection, I would then go back into my room. He would yell out how useless I was. How I was a freaking bitch for not getting it right the first time, when Mom wasn't around. I would stay in my room all day long and get distracted by playing games, drawing, or anything to get his words out of my head. I loved my room. There was a loft bed. It had wooden walls surrounding the bottom with a built-in desk. When I pulled the desk out, I could squeeze through the hole to get into a small room underneath my bed. It was my safe zone when I couldn't control my anxiety. It was nice and cozy with pillows everywhere. During nights, I would say goodbye to Mom when she left for work and watched her as she pulled out the garage in her taxi. I went back inside and sat on my floor drinking tea in my room while playing video games. I had a big window with wave curtains on my left and my desk was up against it. Puss would sit on the desk and have her little naps. I heard gravel crunching outside my window. In the corner of my eye for a second I thought I saw a shadowy figure move in front of the window, but wrote it off as my imagination. Puss sat up and glared at the window. I didn't think anything of it. I was up until late, so I thought it was my sleepless mind making up monsters and sounds to tell me to get to bed, and I thought Puss might had seen a moth. I kept on playing. Then heard what sounded like gravel crunching again. This time it sounded like it was traveling away from my window. Puss finally settled down and jumped into bed. I still didn't find anything strange or abnormal, and went to bed with her. I slept like a little baby. The next day was the same, went to school, came home to do chores, say bye to Mom, get verbally abused by him, and hid in my room. I would play video games while hanging out with my old cat Puss in Boots. I played till I was tired and decided to stop playing and turn everything off. So it was only the moonlight that lit my room. I went to use the restroom, and when I came back, the figure was there again. Outside my window. I still thought it was just my mind because I was a kid with a wild imagination, and suffered from night terrors every night. I climbed into bed and tried to relax my heart from rushing. Puss was outside at that time, and I could only sleep if she was with me. So I laid in bed staring at the figure staring at me. I then got startled by the sound of a cat hissing and angry meows outside my window. The figure was moving and I heard mumbling of slurs outside the window. Vividly I remembered, freaking stupid cat. My anxiety was high, so I hid in my little room and calmed my nerves. I finally realized that it was real. The figure I saw was actually a person. When I calmed down I exited my room. As dumb as it sounds, but true. I went outside and searched the backyard with my torch. There wasn't anyone there but Puss sitting on a chair licking her paws. I investigated near my window and was freaked out by what I saw. I could easily look through my window. Clear as day. It didn't matter if the blinds were closed or not. I grabbed Puss and went back inside to bed. The next day, Mom dropped me off home from school and went straight to work. I walked in and saw him sitting on the couch. As a person with anxiety, I can't help but to glance around and take in every detail, but that when I notice, he had claw marks all over his legs. I rushed into my room and didn't do my chores. I hid in there all day long. I couldn't understand why he was watching me through my window. I felt endangered. Not only was he verbally abusing me, but he was also stalking me. At night, I went straight to bed with Puss. He wasn't at my window this night. Thank God. I felt relieved and slept soundly. But for some reason, hours into my sleep, I felt uneasy and woke up. My heart dropped and I was frozen with fear. Since I slept in a loft bed, the shadow figure and I were at eye level. At first, I thought I was having a nightmare. Then my eyes adjusted to the dark, and before my very eyes, there he stood outside my window in the darkness watching me. Watching me sleep. In the darkness it looked like his eyes were bleeding with black ooze. I forced my legs or even my feet to move so I could wake up Puss. His paws got closer and closer, and finally my lower body slightly spasmed and woke Puss up. She took a few minutes to realize what's happening, then she started hissing and meowing loudly at him, and he vanished. Puss slept near my head from that night, staying on guard. The next day was the weekend. Mom and I went out of town to see family members, while him and my baby brother stayed home. I thought it would be the perfect time to tell Mom what's been going on. We were in a safe space. So I thought anyway. I told Mom that he was calling me slurs for not doing my chores perfectly, then telling her he was stalking me in my room. She yelled at me, told me to shut the fudge up, and said I was destroying her happiness just like my older sister did. Telling lies about him to get him kicked out. It was odd because Mom caught him cheating multiple times but was still with him. She knew they were real but refuses to believe such bullshit. After visiting my family out of town, Mom dropped me off home to go to a mate's place. She was still unimpressed and disappointed with me. It was late, so I decided to have a shower before bed as usual. I loved keeping the blinds open while the lights were off in the room, especially when the moonlight was bright, especially during thunderstorms or when it rained. I found it relaxing and peaceful. It's hard to believe that I suffered from night terrors and imaginary monsters in the dark, but the dazzling moonlight was my friend. I exited from the shower, and I felt a strange feeling that I was being watched. I look out the window but nothing was there. I stare and stare and stare. I then noticed something different. Something was off. There was blackness where there shouldn't be. There was nothing covering the bottom left corner of the window to be black. I looked away and dried myself off and looked back. The blackness vanished. I could see out the corner clearly. I widened my eyes and closed the blinds. He was there. He was watching me. A little girl showering in the bright moonlight. What a sick freak. I sat hidden in the bathroom, lights off and the door locked. I curled into a ball and waited until I unfroze from terror. I then rushed into my room with my dirty clothes on. When I entered my room, I turned the lights on and took my dirty clothes off. I was but naked and searching for clean clothes in my room. Of course I've forgotten. You could easily see everything from the outside with ease. I changed into clean, cozy clothes. I turned off my lights. Seconds later I heard that sound of the gravel crunching. That very moment I realized he was watching. How long has he been watching? Why is he watching me? He was there, staring into my room. Like a deer in headlights, I couldn't move. I was absolutely froze in sheer terror. It took great force, but eventually I snapped myself out being froze and ran instantly into my little safe spot under my bed. I just hid. Again curling into a ball and silently suffering. No one would help me. No one believes me. No one would listen. I kept repeating it in my head. This story is one of my lost memories. I now remembered how scared and hopeless I was. I kept it secret for years. How can others help if my own mother didn't? I kept it so long that I've forgotten how traumatizing it was for my own sake. I suffered from him peering into my window and entering my room to watch me sleep for years. And over those years I grew paranoid of windows and having my door unlocked. Mom and I finally moved out when I was 16 years old. But even after moving out of his house, the memories still haunt me till today. I will always feel like someone is watching me outside my window for the rest of my life. And probably until the day I die.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. Please let us know in the comments your thoughts and what kind of stories you would like to see uploaded in the future. Until next time, stay safe and stay vigilant, my friends.